everyone! I just wanted to give you some phone interview tips for the Disney College program. I have been accepted for fall 2016 for Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique or Pirates League. So in this video I'm going to cover some general application and phone interview tips for the college program, specific Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique and Pirates League requirements that they talk about, and tips on that phone interview, and some sample questions that they might ask you. I figured I'd come outside to the park today because it's such a beautiful day. Alright, let's get started. So I have these tips and stuff written in my princess journal that my voice teacher gave me this past semester for graduating. So starting with general application and phone interview tips, I would say look at the requirements of some roles that you're interested in and pick your top 5 roles, and then narrow that down to your top 3 that you'd like to talk about maybe in the phone interview if it came up. I'm gonna put sunglasses on real quick. It's bright out. Definitely look up the requirements. You can find them on the Disney College Program website. I'll put a link right here and in the description down below of the jobs that you'll be looking at. So for me, my top jobs were character attendance, character performance, and Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique. Those are my top 3. And then I also had 2 more. So when you go through your application, there'll be something that you fill out where you can rate it on high interest, moderate interest, or low interest. So you can apply for all of the jobs if you'd like. You just rank them in how much you're interested in them. But I would suggest 5 so that you can really look at the requirements and see what you'd be best suited at, and you could talk about that because they want to see that you have done your research and that you're definitely interested in that job specifically. So some requirements for the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique and the Pirates League are being in character. With the kids, you'll be a fairy godmother in training in the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique and a pirate, I'm assuming, in the Pirates League. You also have to interact with children and calm kids down if they're upset. You'll have to be doing hair, makeup, and nails. You'll have to work on a reservation system and on a computer. You'll be working in a high-volume, fast-paced environment. You'll be doing some stocking and cleaning. You'll be standing a lot, responding to special guest requests. And that is just the list that I found on the Disney College Program website. I have not gone on my program yet, but those are the requirements that I was looking at when I was applying for the job, and I was able to see that I have either worked with a lot of those requirements already, which is great because then you have experience to talk about and anecdotes to reference in your phone interview. So what I would recommend for any kind of phone interview that you're going to be doing is taking those roles and writing up how your life experience so far and your work experience has related to those requirements. So for example, I've worked on a POS system, a point of sale system, so I've worked with computers and reservation systems. So I was able to talk about that. I do hair and makeup for my friends all the time, and I'm also a theater major. Oh my gosh, I was a theater major, I just graduated. Ew, that was weird. Well, I was a theater major. I now have a theater degree and have done hair and makeup and stuff for that for my whole life. Being a post-theater major, I am great at being in character and I like to improvise. I also work at an ice cream shop over the summer, which is a singing ice cream shop. And sometimes we have shows that require us to be in character and interact and improv with the audience. So I would definitely say, in that regard, like I just did with you, find anecdotes and things in your life that you can reference and write it all out. So I made up this sheet, 3 pages long, I wrote about why I wanted to be accepted into the DCP because I thought that they would ask that. They didn't actually ask that, but I was still prepared. And I wrote about how I could relate to all of the requirements in the top 3 categories that I chose. So some sample questions that you might be asked in your interview are things like, why would you like to join the DCP? What are some other roles that you're considering? For me, character performance was my top role, and they could see from my experience and all of the job things that I had listed on my application that I had a lot of performance experience. And she said she didn't want to talk about that because she knew all the performance experience I had. So we ended up talking about Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique a lot more. And another thing that I was asked about the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique is what would you do if a child was scared? So I had to think, I had to put myself in that situation and see what I would do. Some other general phone interview tips for the college program I would recommend would be, don't put all of your eggs in one basket. I went into the phone interview ready to talk about character performance because that is what I wanted to do. But I'm so glad that I took that time to write out all of those other requirements and the ways that I have related to them, because that's what I ended up talking about most and getting hired for. Also, another tip is write everything down. Definitely write down your interviewer's name. They'll say it in the beginning of your interview, and then you should definitely address them as much as you can. So I interviewed with Nancy, so at the end I said, "Thank you, Nancy, have a good day. Hi, Nancy, how are you today?" You just call them by name. It's just nice. For me, I knew I would be a little bit nervous for this interview, so what I did was I set up this like nice little space for myself. I went into a quiet space that I knew would be quiet during the time that I needed. You should be ready 15 minutes before your interview and allow 15 minutes after, like the half an hour time slot that's given. So I don't remember what time my interview was, but let's say it was at 10:30 in the morning. I should be ready at 10:15 to talk with my phone all ready. And if it would take about a half an hour for the phone call, so that would be about 11 o'clock. Allow another 15 minutes, so 11:15, just in case they call late or just in case anything happens. So what I did was I got my blanket that I love. I set up some like lights and candles because lights and candles make me happy. And I put a picture of my little cousin, my little baby cousin, right on top of the top of like the papers that I had listed out, so that when I see her, I know that I should smile. That's another thing. Smile, because they can hear it in your voice and you just sound happier. And Disney wants to hire happy people. Definitely have your own kind of space. Bring anything that's going to make you happy and relax you that you can see in the middle of the thing. Have your paper all there for you. Maybe highlight some aspects you definitely want to touch on. Have a pen so that you can write down people's names. Overall, just be you. Don't be too nervous. That's why I'm saying make sure you relax before it. Maybe do whatever you need to do, like meditate, do some yoga, whatever you need to do, because you should just be you. And if you're relaxed enough, you're gonna come across. You're gonna be spending about a half an hour, like 15 minutes to a half an hour talking to this person. And why not show them you? Because I'm sure you're a great person. So that concludes all the tips that I have about the phone interview process. If you have any other questions, I have already gone through application process, web-based interview process, phone interview process, been accepted, and I have also connected with roommates on Facebook. So if you have any questions about any parts of those processes, feel free to let me know in the comments and I'll try and get back to you as soon as I can. All right, great. Thank you guys so much, and I hope you have a wonderful day.